in the picks and bans. Karma already on the list. And we'll see as they go through. The Orianna being banned here. Now, you know Ryze, as far as mid lane champions, also going to be super highly priced, especially for Team Liquid, especially for QUID. Has been one of the really big picks for him. There you go as well. The Bard also off the table. We'll see about that mid lane too.
Yep, 3 out of 4 bans here at the start of things. Focused on that bottom side, getting rid of those powerful supports like you're talking about, removing the Varus, Orianna, just that staple ban, and there's some respect right now from C9, banning out the Akali, making sure that TL can't just slam that down.
Definitely agree with that respect. I mean, already in game 1, without any fearless bans down, because QUID has already shown he's willing to blind pick it, or at the very least, the coaching staff is, and he will perform on it. So the Cassiopeia is very interesting because it is not only one of APA's main carry champions that he plays. He doesn't play a ton of hard carry mid laners. That is one of them. But it also really opens up that Ryze I was talking about with the Orianna and the Cassiopeia banned out here. You may be now leaning even more heavily towards that Ryze. Nocturne's a good early pick because it can shut down pretty much any type of side lane champs that you're looking for later.
Like Ryze.
Like Ryze. And it combos really well with Nico engages and stuff like that. So you can do some attacking of side lanes and also look for some hard engage.
Well, it looks like Team Liquid are not afraid of that Nocturne pressure. They're in the side as they will first pick the Ryze for themselves after removing the Ori and the Cassiopeia like we already talked about.
He's getting in the zone.
Now, what do they want to complement it with? I
love it.
Yeah, I don't know if the Yumi's going to get you the most popular reactions here.
Yumi got a little buffs a little while ago, but still definitely one of the most hated champions in League of Legends.
Yep, people just do not like the cat. But you know what? Xayah doesn't like Nocturne. This is a great champion to respond to heavy and powerful dive. Usually when you see Nocturne, he's going to have at least 1 or 2 other buddies to dive in with him. So very early on, Team Liquid's going to say, you know what? We don't want Yeon to be under that level of pressure, so you draft something that can get itself out of trouble.
And that actually reminds me, did play against Lion, and Lion used the Nocturne plus Silas engage to actually one-shot that Xayah and take it down, get the engage that we're looking for. But here we go, the Ashe Seraphine does come out into the Xayah Rakan. So Cloud9, not only is the Ashe Seraphine very strong, especially if you can play to that bomb side early on, and gives you the jungle vision with the hawk shot, but taking in game number 1 here, fearlessly bans it out for the rest of the entire series against Team Liquid. That is very valuable, as this is one of the teams that has played it the most.
Now, one of the things I will be looking at, though, whenever we talk about Seraphine, we always talk about how she likes to have bruiser buddies. Xin Zhao's commonly a champion that's used as a great example, that goes in, gives her something to fire the Encore through. Now, yes, Nocturne goes in, but he goes in like a ballistic missile 2,000 miles away.
Sometimes he can't follow up.
Yeah, sometimes the Encore doesn't quite reach the seats up in the nosebleeds, you know what I mean? So I want to see what else they're going to draft to help make sure this Seraphine and Ashe combination can perform effectively. But over on the Team Liquid side, considering their opponents haven't locked their mid laner, Annie has been one of APA's most played the whole split. They don't want him playing that in game 1.
Yeah, the hard engage. APA's had so many really good flanks and vision plays with the Annie, so many good hard engages, and he does play a lot of utility for Cloud9. It's one of the big differences between the mid laners. QUID looking for more DPS, more hard carry, and APA looking for hard engage a lot of the times, a lot of those styles of champions. So still some options available to him. And since jungle has not been answered, they're going to try and take down on Jose's champion. The question is, are you going to ban the Lee Sin here by Cloud9? Even with the little nerfs that Lee Sin did get, got a couple little damage nerfs. Still very good though after the changes that he got, especially with Safeguard, really jumping him up in priority. And Jose is so extremely good on the Lee Sin.
But I also really like this Jarvan ban. You're already playing Ashe Seraphine. They're very low mobility. Cataclysm can be super punishing. Jose's no stranger to that champ, so it makes sense for C9 to ban it away. They will also target the Gnar, keeping that one out of the top lane pool, as Team Liquid throws over the APA respect ban towards the Ziggs. That can be really annoying for something like Ryze, who's very powerful, but limited in terms of range. So they do not want that to be the mid lane matchup they're dealing with. And sure enough, you talk about it, they don't ban it, so Jose's happy to pilot the Lee Sin here in game 1.
There you go, they pick it up. He doesn't care about the small damage nerfs to the champion. still pick it up. It has so much utility, and especially, you know, Ashe and Seraphine, they don't have a lot of mobility, so you can very oftentimes get into good kicking positions with that champ. Here we go, though, locking down the team fight. Very solid 5-on-5 for Cloud9. Rounding out their comp with both a Sion and an Anivia gives them so many things. You have super beefy frontline, another person like you were looking for to bounce your Seraphine ult off.
Yes, sir.
Very easy to find, a big old Sion in front. And Anivia gives you a ton of wave clear. It's a good matchup into the Ryze, very, very common. And we'll see. Ooh, okay, the Zaahen answer up on the top side here for Morgan once again, as he's been able to run it before.
Yeah, the Zaahen brought into this one to jump into the middle of fight, just creates so much chaos. This guy is a problem if he cannot be immediately bursted down, and I don't see a ton of extreme burst on the C9 side. Generally, I feel like if you're Nocturne, you're going to be looking for the Ryze or for the Xayah. So I'm curious how well Morgan will be able to pilot this into Thanatos on that Sion, being that big front line. I also want to see how much value APA gets out of his Anivia walls. Since it's such a unique ability, generally you think mid laners, you think damage, you think playmaking. You don't think building a little ice wall, but that little ice wall can create so many opportunities in fights, especially when you have tools like the Ashe to shoot an arrow at somebody with the only path they can escape through, something like that. Throw Sion in there, lots of opportunities. Who are you giving the edge to? Game number one.
This one is very close. I like both sides. You know, the Cloud9 side is very solid, very safe. More damage on the TL side, but it does require some more execution.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of like the Lee Sin angle. I want to see what he's going to cook early.
Okay, let's see if Jose can get something cooked up here in the jungle on that Lee Sin. C9 versus TL. Game number one to kick off this best of 5. A spot at MSI, a spot in the finals tomorrow, both on the line here for the winner of this series. As already, Josedeodo going to receive first auto attack. Not quite first blood, but you know, APA is sending a message.
Sending a message indeed, as he very often does early in games, but usually it's through the typing. APA,
we'll
by the way,
that too.
By the way, last time he did play the Anivia, you know, he solo killed Saint in this exact matchup. So
that's not what I expected from the typing.
Yeah, so we started out here, good, clean, good luck, have fun.
Just some good old-fashioned League of Legends. Now down here in the bottom side, Zven and Vulcan on the Ashe Seraphine. This duo has been so oppressive for so long in this split, and I feel like a lot of times teams have struggled to come up with answers for how to survive the early pressure. And you can see right there, Zven and Vulcan just slamming these early trades.
Yeah, lots of exchanges, both in bottom lane and in mid lane. You could tell the health bars there going pretty low. So when it is really, really volatile like this, having a lot of heavy trades in both mid lane and bottom lane gives you a lot of opportunity for jungle creativity. And we're really early on, so there are some possibilities, some defensive wards up here, and Cloud9 both, they have Nocturne on a full clear down towards the bottom side, and they also have that ward on blue buff. So they know that Lee Sin started on this red side quadrant, and Jose is actually going to go for the early recall here to get what I would assume would be a longsword start here to get some extra damage and go on up to the top side. But Cloud9, as we said, with that ward on blue buff, will know that's in a long time, and he has not done a standard timing for his early clear up to the top side.
And speaking of early recalls, CoreJJ was forced back because of that level 1 trade. He had to go all the way back to Fountain. All he got was a control ward in his inventory, so not exactly the start to the lane that Team Liquid would like to have down here in the bot side 2v2s. Zven already up more than a wave of minions as the next one is arriving, and they're just continuing to control the pace of things down here. We did pan top real quick, saw Morgan has control over this lane here early, but that's what you'd expect.
There's a lot that goes into this series, as we've been saying leading up to this week, a lot of pressure to get an international appearance for both of these organizations with Cloud9 and Team Liquid. These are the organizations that have represented us the most of any org in North America's history. 13 appearances for Cloud9 and 10 for Team Liquid. Very important to these legacy organizations, their owners, their fans, their players. Yeah. And so a lot riding on this best of 5.
The last time North America made an MSI final, that was Team Liquid getting us there. The last time that North America made World Semifinals, that was Cloud9 getting us there. These are not just the teams that go the most, these are the teams that also go the furthest when it comes to that international competition. And you know they've got to be hungry to get back there. For Cloud9, this would just put them that much further in the lead of that #1 spot. And for TL, it breaks the second place tie with TSM.
Yeah, and there's even further stakes on the line because Team Liquid, they replaced APA with QUID. And so extra little bit in mid lane.
Ooh, nice Rune Prison sets it up here for the Sonic Wave. APA taken low. He's sent into the egg, but he gets underneath the turret. That egg's not taking a ton of damage here just yet, but it does take enough. It's first blood to Josedeodo.
It's the Lee Sin Flowers. He gets in there. Jose ganks from the bottom side. They know that he cleared bottom side first, but he did that recall into longsword into back from the top side, and so he wraps around. Jose here is able to get the gank onto APA, and since APA thought he could walk it off since he had egg, he did not invest his flash.
Back to live, though. We have a solo kill up here in the top side. Thanatos gets taken down by Morgan in the 1v1. Thanatos, our top laner, who has ruled the top lane all split long, was not ready for the Zaahen.
They're lying down the TLAW in game #1. Flowers, first blood in mid lane, solo bolo in top lane. The early stage is going quite well for this Team Liquid squad. And their solo laners are both damage-heavy carries here. So your side lanes will be interesting. Since Cloud9 are running the Nocturne and Blaber has been farming up, looking for his level 6, fairly soon. But we'll see what that ends up looking like later on. Cloud9, of course, they're pushing bottom lane again, so they should be able to do the dragon, no problem, even after mid got killed. Jose, though, look at that Lee Sin on the minimap, wrapping around. He was looking for a little bit of action mid, but with the very safe play from APA, you see him hovering. He'll just back off. So no dragon start for Cloud9.
And as we wait to see where the action happens next, make sure to tune into the grand finals tomorrow, where drops will be active on Twitch. You can watch the series on the official LCS channel or any eligible co-streamer to earn a Glorious Champion capsule and an LCS Renekton emote. So make sure you remember to tune in. One of these two teams will be playing in that one up against Lion, who will also be hungry to fight their way to another title, to the opportunity to represent at MSI as that #1 seed. As C9 are starting up the Dragon now. Blaber level 6 on the Nocturne. Here's your immediate Grim Deliverance from Morgan up in the top side just to maintain more control over the wave and force Thanatos back. Blaber and the rest of C9 will not be challenged just yet here with the Dragon. They've already secured the objective. CoreJJ and Yeon are approaching on the flank, but C9 is already out of danger.
All right, Cloud9 sticking to the plan. Stick to the script. Stack those dragons. You are a team fighting draft here. You have a very solid 5-on-5 for later. So you get these dragons early, be able to stack them, be able to draw the Team Liquid squad to you to a front-to-back team fight. Make use of your Ashe Seraphine. We'll see if that will be effective. Of course, Cloud9, they do have some other options. Sion Ultimate, very good for some of these rotations between objectives, between side lanes, as well as the Nocturne. And so we'll see if they end up getting some picks with the Ashe Arrow or some of those extra ultimates. And Blaber trying to remain consistent in farming here on Nocturne is the most important thing. Keep your farm up. Keep the pace of not only your objectives, but also your experience. And we'll see. He's going to probably have to go back for another base before he sets off his ulti, but right now he's actually hovering around before he finishes up with his next clear.
I do always want to see those first Nocturne ultis be effective, right? That early cooldown is so annoying if you don't get the play that you're looking for. So the decision-making from Blaber will be under the magnifying glass here a little bit.
Yeah, and he's got almost 1,500 gold in inventory. For early game, that's a lot for junglers because it does affect your clear a lot. So that's why I think after he finishes up with this next re-clear down to his Gromp in blue, maybe he'll go for the recall to purchase before sending an ult, unless an opportunity arose that was too juicy to pass up. And they tried to get at least a summoner spell on bottom side, but they are unable to grab anything.
Yep, the confidence in Yeon and CoreJJ to be able to just get out of the line of sight there from Zven on the Ashe, dodge away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Vulcan's going to go ahead and take his recall here, go back to base on that Seraphine. And now back over in mid, checking in on how things are going. QUID does still have a very small advantage in terms of farm, but APA is keeping things pretty close despite that early death thanks to Jose's interference. Speaking of Jose, he's going to go ahead and take the opportunity to grab those buffed up Void Grubs.
Yeah, Void Grubs for the Ryze and Zaahen especially. See if that buff ends up meaning anything, as they did increase the value that they do to towers. Morgan with some pretty consistent harassment on the top side. However, Thanatos, as you can see, doing very well with his CS despite the solo kill.
He's doing great. He's having a fantastic time up here. Losing that 1v1 never really set him behind in terms of his ability to participate in the lane, have presence there, and make sure that he doesn't fall any further behind from the minions.
Yeah, they're making a roam here too. Look at the Ryze. Ryze with Realm Warp available. So QUID is going to back up Jose.
Jose has already found Blaber off to the side, but Blaber jumps in instead, going after Morgan. They want to try to burst him down before he has enough determination to proc the ulti. QUID's making his way forward. Blaber has to flash away, but the Rune Prison finds Thanatos. Morgan right back out of the turret range. He's losing his determination stacks. They won't have the revive, but Josedeodo is still waiting on the wings. Blaber and Thanatos trying to make sure they can get out of here safely. QUID just trying to stop the recalls.
They're losing a lot mid right now for this. So Team Liquid, they committed 3 people top, and they're really trying to get something out of it. The teleport is eventually used mid, and now they're going to continue the play. Yeah,
Team Liquid knows they spent a lot up here. They got to get something back for it. Resonating strike onto Thanatos there, but Team Liquid won't get it. C9's top laner gets himself out of danger, and all the time that TL wasted means the early gold lead they had from their kills has disappeared.
Yeah, APA got to push in mid lane there, get a turret plate for the Anivia. They are still going to push on top side, so they are going to deny Cloud9 some of these minions on top side, and committed a lot of time up there with 3 people, but thankfully for Team Liquid, they did at least have the teleport for Morgan to then go soak up the extra wave towards mid.
All right, we've got 10 minutes on the clock, 45 seconds until the second dragon spawns. C9 took the first one without a contest from TL. Do you think that TL is going to be interested in this second one, or maybe not?
I definitely do think they'll be interested, and Jose, with his Sundered Sky completed, will certainly be interested in making a play. He still has his flash on Lee Sin, so next time his ultimate is up for Lee Sin, he is going to look for a play. We'll see. There are some pings around mid lane at the moment for them, but as you see, Blaber's kind of hovering on bottom side right now too.
Yeah.
With his Nocturne ultimate cooldown also about to come up. So the patience, the kind of hovering play, the cover here for Blaber. He's waiting for Jose, and they do scout him out now.
All right, we got a lot of champions roaming towards this area.
Here we go. This is the dragon fight you were looking for, Flowers. Team Liquid slowly trying to get some vision. The Scryer's Bloom does help a lot.
Teleport not ready for either top laner. This is an honest 4v4. Morgan and Thanatos cannot get involved. Dragon down to about half HP, but Sion have stopped DPS. QUID moving forward, tries to force APA back. Blaber has lost a little bit, but now immediately they fire everything from the support right back onto the enemy mid laner as C9 has to try to get Blaber out of here. QUID is also very low. Exiting stage left as Yeon and CoreJJ have to run. Vulcan and Zven create enough space here at the beginning of the fight as Josedeodo still wants to challenge here for the Drake. It's down to 2,000 HP. Jose looking for a little bit more. Wants to get close enough, but C9 trying to keep the Lee out, and they successfully do it. It's C9 stacking Drake number 2, but Josedeodo's going in. A beautiful kick comes out, but again, it's the Anivia with the egg. Staying alive for now, it's not enough. Blaber falls, APA falls. Team Liquid goes in for the round one, but they want even more. Triple kill, Josedeodo.
Jose Lee Sin strikes again, Flowers. He does let them get the dragon. He backs off because Cloud9 do a calm, good job of zoning TL away from the objective, but then when they try and leave the area, Flowers, when they're trying to escape, it is Jose who strikes out of the brush on mid lane. He goes for the flash kick play onto the Anivia. They get the extra chase down kill even with the Realm Warp, and he lands the extra Q snipe onto Zven to grab another kill.
And the Let's Go Liquid erupts from the crowd. TL might have lost the dragon, but C9 really lost the fight. That's a 2,500 gold lead for Team Liquid now.
is why we had that respect for Jose on the Lee Sin still, even with the nerfs. Still have your eye on it, still a little wary. And let's take another look at this. So Cloud9, they do a good job of zoning away Jose from the actual objective. But then after they're trying to leave the objective, they still have CoreJJ in the Dragon Pit. So here's the start. Jose gets him an egg. It is critical that CoreJJ as well comes from the Dragon Pit to also get that double knock-up. Knock up the Nocturne as well, and so they get the chase down kills. Cloud9, they thought the job was done, but the job's not done until you get the escape.
They're popping off about it, and the critical thing, those chase down kills you're talking about, at the very end, Zven flashed and still died. Insult to injury there, because this is a champion with no inbuilt mobility. That's a giant target on his back now.
Yeah, he probably thought that, you know, just coming out of the Realm Warp, it was a little bit far away, so it's not super dangerous, but Jose with the snipe there, another really good Q from him, and they got the Zven kill as well. That is now 5 huge gold lead here. 5 kills to Team Liquid, huge gold lead for Team Liquid in the early game. And that is what you need to just completely break this this super strong like 5-on-5 setup comp that Cloud9 have. And I've got so much money to work with that Team Liquid, the damage is just going to be, the damage output is just going to be so much higher.
Hey, maybe that's the problem for C9, is it wasn't a 5-on-5, it was a 4-on-4. What happens when Thanatos gets involved? Maybe that's going to be the recipe for success for them, but that's a question that we'll have to answer here in the future, because right now, looks like Blaber's hanging around to see if maybe they can make something happen, but Josedeodo also trailing nearby as QUID continues marching forward. Thanatos waiting with the decimating smash, just throws it down. Jose is immediately ready. If Blaber wants to come in, let him. Jose is already here first. Thanatos losing a lot of HP, charges back in as Blaber's ready to back him up. Thanatos flashes away. Blaber's got the shutdown and QUID's already dead. C9, they make the outplay in the 2v2. CoreJJ shows up, guarantees that Jose won't fall as well, but Vulcan's ready to chase. The Seraphine closing distance, flashes in for the encore. That's your MVP, setting up the second kill.
C9 strike back immediately, bait them in on the top side. They draw them closer to the tower, and then the turn from Thanatos and Blaber finds them the kills and the objective afterwards.
C9 make a beautiful outplay there. Thanatos, knowing his limits, tanking up on the Sion, bringing him into a situation that they were not ready. Now Team Liquid using the teleport to bring Morgan back up to the fight here. CoreJJ got to be careful. C9 making their exit, also just going to teleport Thanatos right back towards the top side, reinforce their own lines, and start pushing yet again.
Very good for Cloud9. This time they also get the escape after the big play.
Critically.
Get the kills, get the objective, and to make the getaway. All right, let's take another look. Because this was a TL play that they're... You had Rakan coming too, but Blaber here is just waiting the whole time. Waiting for the turn. And even though they're not in tower range, Thanatos still gets the turn, ultimate, and then he flashes away to make sure he did not die. Blaber also flashing away from the re-engage. And here comes Vulcan, the MVP. He's gonna barely tag on the edge, this ultimate. Jose tries to step out. He thought he was all the way out, but his heel, the edge of your foot there, still in range. And it tags him, and they get the extra kill.
And this is, considering the outcome of that last play, this quote here from earlier in the split is pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, Vulcan literally said, I don't want to live in a world where Jose is MVP. And he made that true by earning MVP himself. Took it away from Jose. And in that last play, also took away his bounty.
And now it's the next dragon already live on the map. C9 with a 2-0 Drake advantage so far means they'll go to Soul Point and really create a serious moment of pressure for TL at every dragon in the future. TL obviously knows this, so they've got the early setup on the bottom side river. Jose already taking down the dragon as Morgan makes sure that there's security through the bottom lane entrances to that river. CoreJJ also watching through the enemy jungle. So TL is going to get this one. C9 will just let it go.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the Sion is just pushing on that top tower, so they are getting paid up on the top side of the map. Meanwhile, play towards mid lane, not going to result in any deaths, but Thanatos farming plates.
Pretty close game here in game number 1 of our penultimate best of 5 here for the spring split. Team Liquid still with that very modest gold lead, The Dragon advantage for C9. The Rift Herald, I still want to see what use we get out of that. I feel like these days you see many more Battle Heralds than you used to, so that might be one of the plays.
It's actually such a fun objective. Definitely so appreciative of the Balance team, you know, of the League team making those changes. And turning it into not just any other normal objective that just kind of sits in the pit and you take it and, you know, you get some random buff or whatever.
Like, okay, cool.
Having an active that you can actually use to change team fights or produce a lot of comedy, as we've seen people drive the Rift
Some people
Herald.
do not know how to drive it. That's definitely true.
So it's definitely one of the best, you know, changes to objectives I think that they made for you know, on the season's change. So we'll see what's in the future as well. But currently still holding on to it there for Blaber because, as you say, very popular to use it in team fights to be able to get someone out of a bad scenario or even make an engage for yourself.
Right now, looks like everything's just going to take a nice and slow pace for a little bit. Our top laners have switched down there to the bottom side, while the mid laners have been assigned their wave clear duties that AD carries often end up having around the mid game. 19 minutes on the clock means that we've got still over 3 minutes. Hey, we got the FlyQuest guys hanging out in the audience here today. They made their road trip out here, streaming the whole thing the other day to be a part of the finals. Come see what's going on. And now I'm curious, Kobe, where do you think we're getting the next action happening? And even more importantly, who's starting it?
Yeah, I think it's got to be a side lane play here. I mean, you've got Nocturne in the game, and you have these towers getting to the breaking point on the sides, getting quite low. But as I say that, Lee Sin is hovering mid, and there's about 3-4 pings from Team Liquid. Jose wants an angle for a Lee Sin kick, and you can see the pre-existing ward.
There he goes. Oh, but the Sonic Wave doesn't collide. Very, very fortunate for Zven there. You can see Vulcan even fired off the Encore just in case to make sure they couldn't full send after his carry. And now CoreJJ backs away. He even already popped the quickness, ready to follow up on that. So both support ultimates down now.
Yeah, everybody in the game was so ready for this play to pop off in mid. And so they're popping ultimates, but now neither support, as you say, with both Core and Vulcan, using them, kind of expecting the actual engage, but because it didn't happen, Anivia just gets the push top side. I think Ryze will get there for most of that wave, but if it is not a cannon wave, gonna drop a few of them and also allow Anivia a little roam timer. There goes Blaber with the Herald. Will be a more standard looking Herald.
Yeah, that's about as standard as you can get. You ram it into the tower and then walk away. So they'll get some play money, but that's about it. Paranoia now down, though, as C9 have found a target. They want to go after Morgan. He goes over the wall there with a Grim Deliverance, getting himself away for now, but he's already down to 100 HP. Oh! And it's 100 too much for C9. Josedeodo shows up and says, not today.
They get him out. They get the safeguard. They get the kick. They get the peel. Now you're trading mid lane for top lane at the moment. Ryze thriving in the side lane there. QUID is very rich, but mid lane.
Okay, Zven's gonna be careful now. Flashes away, staying out of danger. APA can't stay the same as the Crystallize. He traps himself on the wrong side of the wall. He can't get away from him, and Team Liquid get the enemy mid laner yet again.
Egg down, and that plenty of time for QUID to finish up topside. He's roaming down, he's stealing Raptors while the rest of the team finishes up the mid lane. So no, not only did Team Liquid get the kill, but they get the top tower and the mid tower here. Now already Blastconing in to start the Baron. We're only 20 minutes, 21 and 45 seconds into the game, Flowers. That thing's gonna melt.
Yes, this Baron is already down to half HP. Blaber is hanging around nearby. Control ward over the wall. Team Liquid gonna clear that one out of the way. Control
2 seconds on his ult, 1 second on Blaber's ult.
Blaber's ready to go in, he does it with a paranoia, but no! Josedeodo has the secure, and Blaber falls right after. Now you got the Realm Warp coming in, it's QUID with the flash into the Ruined Prison, and Zven goes straight to jail. Do not press go, do not collect $200, this man is out of there, and Team Liquid, they get 3, they get Baron, they get the whole damn thing.
That's truly gonna break this game open, Flowers. Team Liquid now have so much pushing power. They already had the Grubs buff, now they're gonna have the Baron buff. Let's take another look at that play. You can see in the picture-in-picture they're getting more tower money, but Blaber's ult cooldown was ticking down to 1 second. It barely ticked over right when the Baron was low enough to go. So he was spamming that to go in to try and get the flip. But TL, not only do they get the flip, Flowers, but they get the chase downs as well. So much extra money in addition to the Baron to empower the split push for them. Get some more turret plates, get another dragon for themselves.
that timing is so good too, because it's like, okay, we just made 4,000 gold and got the most powerful buff on the map, and the one thing that you wanted to get, your dragon stacking to try to force these future team fights, well, the clock works out that now we get that too. Everything is going Team Liquid's way now. They'll grab the dragon. The bottom lane tier 1 turret finally falls as Yeon puts the last little bit of work into that one, and TL still has this Baron for another minute and a half as C9 has to scramble to stop the bleeding.
They certainly do have to scramble. They need to scramble some money together too.
Yeah.
For their carries, especially mid and bottom here. Both QUID and Yeon, 2,000 gold ahead for Team Liquid with their respective roles, and it is looking very good. Full level for QUID on top of it, and Yeon's got 2 full levels. So in addition to the 2K gold, the experience is also very valuable.
And that's not just Rod of Ages level. They both have Rod of Ages. They're both 10 stacks.
It's even.
That's a real homegrown level. Nothing made in the Rod of Ages factory. This is the real deal here.
He farmed that out himself.
Yes, sir. Josedeodo, though, once again lurking in the brushes. This man has had such a beautiful game on Lee Sin here in this first one, surely making C9 regret not banning it out there in that second phase. But you allow Jose to play it. He's going to show you why you got to ban it out. Blaber trying to take the tier 2 turret down in the bottom lane while Team Liquid pushes top here, just trying to get something back through the objective bounty, through some kind of a trade. Objective bounties aren't even on the map right now, it looks like, thanks to the UI indicator, but immediately CoreJJ is going in. Zven gets caught! The grand entrance is far too quick. The summoner spell not ready yet from Zven. The flash is still on cooldown, so as soon as Core flashes in, it's lights out for the Ashe.
Yeah, Cloud9 a little behind the play because they still have Blaber pushing from bottom, and you know the recall is going to take a while for Cloud9, so CoreJJ, he knows he has enough time, and lightning quick with the engage. Flash and ult from Rakan make it happen. They're inside the base, Flowers, and the onslaught is painful here for Cloud9, but TL, they feel like their job is done. They've gotten what they came for.
Well, the one silver lining is that the Baron has fallen off, and since C9 has the Anivia, you mentioned it at the start of the game, this is one of the best wave clear champs in League of Legends, so it does become harder to try to force those inhibitors down in either of the side lanes afterwards. So still just the one in-hit game, but things are so far in TL's favor right now. Jose going to make sure he steals away the blue buff on the way out, just deprive Cloud9 of every possible resource.
Yeah, Jose really having a good opening game here for Team Liquid. The entire team, you know, as well though. Like the escape from Morgan on the bottom side that we saw. Some good movement as well from QUID. So if Team Liquid coming out here locked in game number 1, Cloud9 definitely going to have their work cut out for them in this series. It should be a long series here.
I hope so.
We'll see, though. They still have the possibility. They're going to try and group up, and as you can see, they're slowly working through the jungle, trying to create their own vision lines, creep through, make sure there's some safe area for at least one of their carries to get some income. Zven is in base right now. I don't think QUID will like realm warp over there on him or anything.
That would be kind of wild.
We'll see. Team Liquid, they're just going to rotate their 4-1 split push over, meet up with the minion wave, and Jose's done with his Guardian Angel too, so he can go really deep for a play with Flash, with Kick, with Guardian Angel available.
And I feel like that's a pretty big difference between this third itemization for the junglers. Normally that Guardian Angel is the stock standard item number 3 for AD junglers. This time around, Blaber has gone for the Serpent's Fang instead, wants to reduce some of the shielding on the other side. There's quite a lot of shielding to be reduced, I'm not going to lie, but it does mean that when Blaber presses Paranoia, 9 times out of 10, that's a one-way ticket, and you're not getting up after they knock you down. So 7,500 gold lead for TL. They've already got those last 2 Drakes, and they have total control over the map. Look at this enemy blue buff quadrant from the TL perspective. There are so many wards in this thing, it's lit up like a Christmas tree, and it's Team Liquid who are hoping C9 comes around looking for what presents are under there, because the only presence is Josedeodo right now, trying again to look for a play. Nope, C9, they've got the buddy system. Everybody gets out safe.
Yeah, they're keeping their carries farming waves while hovering around them, basically. Everybody try and hover around, make sure Zven and APA can still get some income from these minion waves, and then everybody else is kind of watching and waiting and hoping.
Nervously.
Yeah, nervously. Next Dragon, honestly, if you're Cloud9, I don't think get yourself into any trouble here. You know, it's only going to be number 3 for Team Liquid. It does kind of suck giving over another one, but don't want to risk the game at the moment if it's not going to be Dragon Soul just quite yet. So think that we'll still see Cloud9 doing a similar thing, just safely keeping up their farm and not approach this dragon. It's just too dangerous to go out into the jungle. But the Baron's also getting pinged, so maybe you can use this time to rotate your vision over.
Yeah, that dragon dies awfully quickly, though. Yeon with the Infinity Edge completed. Those feathers do a lot of damage. APA, though, found by the Realm Warp. Yes, he has the Seeker's Arm Guard, but it only buys him a little bit of time. The Grand Entrance finds the knock-up again, and yet again, the egg doesn't matter. Every single time this game that APA has had the egg available, it has not prevented a death. Team Liquid has been setting up these picks in places and in ways to just completely ignore the power of that passive on the Anivia, and now APA's arm guard is broken. His egg is scrambled. His team trying to hold on in a 4v5 for the next 30 seconds because Team Liquid just took their second Baron.
Yeah, QUID and Jose have been cooking them. Absolutely. Now they're taking away the jungle as well together, while the rest of the team pushes in mid and top side. Meanwhile, Blaber's taking away enemy red, and they were split pushing bottom with Thanatos to try and get a tiny bit of resources right before what might be their final fight, as Cloud9 need to pray for this base defense.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, APA doesn't respawn in time to save that top lane inhibitor turret or the inhibitor behind it. Their mid lane inhibitor will at least respawn here in just about 5 seconds, so it's still just a one-inhib game for now. But the problem with that, Mr. Kobe, is the Baron still lasts most of its duration right now. 2 minutes still to go. Team Liquid takes their recall, they make their purchases, and I feel like they've got to be looking for the throat.
Yeah, at this point, Team Liquid have been picking Cloud9 apart, but there's one more opportunity.
Okay.
This Dragon Soul that's about to arrive. You got to pray and you got to look for your moment here for Cloud9. Because if you give over the Dragon Soul as well, Mountain Soul on top of all the individual mountains they've already gotten, seems like that would just be the final nail in the coffin. It's already difficult with the item lead that Team Liquid have, but you're going to have to choose your moments before it becomes inevitable.
Well, that inevitability is creeping ever closer. Team Liquid will go ahead and take the last tier 2 turret from the Cloud9 side, knock that one over without much resistance, as C9 instead choose to draw their battle lines around their base, around their remaining tier 3 turret. The mid lane inhibitor has also respawned. Morgan applying pressure to the mid lane while everybody else tries to get the wave shoved up bottom side. APA using the Crystallize and the Glacial Storm to keep that minion wave at bay as best he can. Remember, this Anivia does not have his defensive tools available. APA must be very mindful, particularly of Josedeodo, who has that Guardian Angel, has the flash, can make the play whenever he lands one of those sonic waves. C9 has got to be ready for the snap engage coming out from TL.
Team Liquid, they've been controlled this whole time. There's only 2 minutes on the clock, Flowers, for the Mountain Soul arrival, but they're finishing up with the base very quickly. I mean, the tower's already at 50% HP.
Yeah, we might not even get there. Tier 3 turret, already below half, like you say. Top inhibitor, middle inhibitor, both down. Many super minions marching down the top lane. Somebody on C9's got to go answer that. Blaber going to do it for now. As the rest of Team Liquid take their chance, they're going to shove forward, go after the tier 3. CoreJJ going in. APA is going to be your target. Jose wants to follow it up, but the stasis was there in time. APA staying alive, trying to get himself away, but Thanatos is already down. Josedeodo taken low, but the Guardian Angel brings him back. Double kill over to Yeon, and Team Liquid full send it. Team Liquid end it. Game number 1. They controlled this from the start. Josedeodo making plays, everybody else following it up. 16-2, TL slams the first game.
Team Liquid, they are locked in for game number 1, looking clean.
Nicely done from Team Liquid in the first game here in Tempe, Arizona, here in the Mullet Arena. And to hear more about it, let's throw it back to the lounge.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to get right into it.